Hello, this is Kathy with Harriet's Papery, and this morning I'm going to show you the new journal I've been working on, and it's going to be up in my Etsy shop later today. So let's untie this. Ooh, lots of strings on that one, I guess. You're holding on to me. All right, first is this little card I made to go on the front of it. And I used some of the papers that match the cover. And then this is the cover. I'll put some of this ruffled muslin on the edge. And here's the binding in the back. Now in this journal I used two digital kits from my shop. One is called Summer Fleurs and the other one is called Springtime. So let's get started with this pocket here. I've got a little letter. This came from the Ruby and Pearl Letters kit, and I can't remember the exact name of it. But, so I made this letter and just worked at it to make it look a little bit old and worn out. But this gives you kind of a journaling place. And I guess this one isn't actually a letter. It's more like an envelope. Although there's some writing there. But these are fun. Fun to make and fun to unfold and look at. I enjoy them. We have a tag here that I made. There's a name for them, like some kind of a board. But I like to make them on old scrapbook paper that really isn't, you know, pretty. Or I guess not something I would want to use. And just put scraps all over it and then cut them out. And we have a dictionary page here that I pulled out of an old dictionary I have. I'll tuck these back in here. We have a little pocket on this front page to tuck some things into. And sort of the theme of this journal for me was in Jesus' name. And we have this tag pocket or a floating pocket here. And it's just got some little bits in it. And this is the back side. And this tag, I made these last year sometime, a whole group of them, and then put them in my box to use. I think I'm going to have to make some more because I'm almost out. And I believe that was made mostly with just scrap papers I had laying around. And we've got this little booklet that I made. You can journal here, and it's just got texture paper and pretty images on it and in it. And we've got this little scrap that you can journal on the back of it. And a little receipt that I pinned on here. I have a story for the pins. The pins were a very funny acquisition. I found a sewing machine at a local thrift store last year, and for like, I don't know, $50 or something, and it said that it worked, and I brought it home and it did, and it had the book, it had all the parts with it, and it also had this box of old pins, which is where that came from, and a box of black beads. I don't know what those things are doing there, but I mean, the pins I can kind of understand with a sewing machine, but I wasn't too sure about the beads. But we always want to remember that with God, all things are possible. He can do anything. What we have to ask ourselves is the things we want are God's will. Because sometimes what we want isn't really what He wants for us. This was an image that I used that is also on the cover. And you fold this out and you have a tuck spot and a journaling spot here. And a little bit of texture there. And I added in this page. I just glued it onto a page that was already there for journaling space and a pocket with some more of this tucked into it, and these cards that I made for this journal. I have a writing on the journaling space, I guess, writing space on the back, and a pretty rose image on the front. Here's a page for your answered prayers. I think it's so important to keep track of the answered prayers. It's like keeping track of the things that you're grateful for in life. And here we have another fold out. We have a receipt here, and you can journal on the back of it, and a little leftover of tea-dyed doily. And we have this little envelope that I made. It also says in Jesus' name. My hair is everywhere today. I have really long hair. And so there's some things in here. I'll just try to show them. They're tiny and hard to get back once you pull them out. But this is a piece of avocado dyed paper. And when you see pink pages in my journals, that's usually what they are, is avocado dyed paper. And then we flip this over, and I pinned another little piece of that journal. It's not really a journal, but it was like the ledger from the ranch that I grew up on. These are old ledger pages that I have scanned. And pray. Always remember to pray. I try to teach my children that, to remember to pray for their friends and situations. And here's another flip out with the rose image, and this one's got a sweet little surprise in there. I just think that that little girl is so sweet and cute. We've got a tag here. A little pocket with another one of the journal cards that I made for this project. And I decorated this page. None of these are pockets or tucks, they're just glued on to decorate it. And in this center, I put this little number here. We have a tag in this pocket. This also matches up with the images on the cover. And we need to remember, I am with you always. Jesus is always with us, and He will never leave us or forsake us. And we have this aged music page here that you could journal on, or you could take it apart and make things with it. And we have a little tag here and a paper for journaling or using to decorate things with. This image is going to be in an upcoming kit that's going to be kind of forest themed. And we have one of my little accordion books here with just a little booklet with pictures in it. This also came out of my ephemera box. I made these, I don't know, sometime back. And I love making these. This one I used a digital paper for the backing, but I like to use my old music pages for it. They're so pretty. We have a Bible verse here. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We have a flip out here that you could journal on or just tuck things behind it. And we've got an envelope here that I ran through my embossing machine. And it opens up, and it also has little, try to keep my fingers out of the way, there's goodies in there. And behind this little piece of tracing paper, there is another surprise. And so this journal has two signatures. So this is the beginning of the second signature, Faithful. And here's another piece of ephemera from the box that I made earlier in the year. And this is an image of a seed catalog, actually, from, I believe this one's 1897. Oh, I don't see on it. It probably says there somewhere that I'm not seeing right now. 1897 or 1898, one of the two. And read the journal on the back. And we have a tag here. Textured papers and lace on the back side. And here we have, this was actually a little paper bag. And I ran it through my embossing machine and then folded the bottom up to make a pocket. Plus this back here's a pocket. And I put this little receipt in here. And you could journal on the back of it. I made this little booklet to go in the back of the bag. And just decorated it with these images and put a piece of paper that could be journaled on the inside. More avocado dyed paper. And another floating pocket with some little bits of ephemera tucked into it. And then on the back side, it's just been collaged. And here's another tag from my ephemera box. Another Bible verse. And here we have a folded page that makes pockets. This one is from my roses kit. And then I just printed something on the back of it that you could write on. We'll tuck that little guy back in there. Here's a piece of paper. Hope. We always have hope in Jesus. And here we have some paper to journal on with there's a French document on the back of it. And I printed this on tea-stained paper so that it would have kind of a nice texture to it. Once you tea-stain paper, it's not smooth. Like these pages are all really smooth, and this one isn't. I just love the texture of it. We have another pocket. There's a pretty wallpaper that I have that's in my personal collection. And we have this and a little ticket pinned on there. You may recognize these pictures from elsewhere in the journal. And here we have, I think this is the last of the journal cards that I made. And here's another envelope that I ran through my embossing machine, and some of the folders do more to paper than other folders. So this envelope was actually rendered unusable as an envelope. As you can see, it broke it apart. But you don't know what it's going to do if you don't try it. And that's the way I look at it. It's just paper. So I tucked these two pieces of paper that you could journal on inside what's left of this envelope. I just cut it open and then glued it in here for a tuck spot. And it kind of likes to stick together pretty good. When I first put it in and there was nothing in the tuck, it was scary to open because I was afraid I would tear it apart. And here we have a little decoration I made for this page, the rose and a butterfly on a lace doily. And we have another one of these pockets with some ephemera in it. And you can journal on the back side. And this is another image that it's not in any of my digital kits yet, but it will be. I guess we'll set these guys to the side here while we put that in. This guy goes in. This makes so many little pocket places. If I can get it back in there. There we go. And here is a little folder I made for journaling on, because I had some extra paper to use up, so I just glued it on the tea paper, and there's another little spot for journaling. And here is another page. These are both digitals that I've made that aren't in kits yet. This one here will potentially go in someplace. And it's just folded over this page. And we have this tuck spot here. And this gentleman again. And a pocket here with some ephemera in it and journaling space. And then on the back, we've got this pocket here, and it's got another letter and just a little piece of paper left over from other things. Tucked in there, there's another piece of it. And there's this little French document, and I printed off on tea-stained paper to tuck into the journal. And so here we have it, a chunky little journal. It doesn't like to stay closed real good on its own, but I think most of us like them chunky and full of goodies. I sure do. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you have a pleasant day. Bye.